What is up, everybody? It is Mars Sports. It's your boy Marshall here with Ayush today.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, he's on FaceTime because he's walking home from school right now. So yeah, he called me, so I answered, and we just yeah we've been chatting since then and having a good time. So, yeah, but Ayush, what are we going to be doing today?
Going going to be discussing the awards for NFL.
So yes, tonight I think it's tonight. Is it tonight?
I think so.
Yeah, but we have NFL honors awards to predict, and let's just say things will get interesting. So yeah, I'm trying to get you. I can see him. He's paused video. That's okay. But basically, what we have is we got a bunch of things to predict. So we're gonna predict those. We're gonna be predicting a couple of things like MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, Comeback Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, Assistant Coach of the Year. And then we'll also be predicting Man of the Year, and we'll also be predicting Fan of the Year. So yeah, let's do this. Let's start off. Me and Ayush are both going to give our predictions. So yeah. Anyways, let's do this. So starting off, we have, yes, in the awards are tonight. Starting off, we have MVP, the cornucopia of them all. So some contenders are like Josh Allen, where they went to the divisional round, and yeah, they lost. They had a good year. They had a weird year, but like they still did good. And then we also have Lamar Jackson, who took that Ravens organization, made it even better this year after being good last year too. Just like Christian McCaffrey, considering that he was on the Panthers not that long ago. Crazy how he's come out to be really, really good as a 49er. We all knew he was good when he was a Panther, but he was injured most of the time. So couldn't really tell. We also got Ayush's favorite team, Dak Prescott. And we also have Brock Purdy, who is now in a Super Bowl after being picked last in the NFL draft. So yeah, Offensive Player of the Year. The nominations are Tyreek. Well, by the way, I'm reading off of SB Nation their takes on it. Basically, who the nominees are. Basically, Offensive Player of the Year. There's Tyreek Hill, who has gone off with Tua. Even though they've only beaten one team with a winning record, still very good. I mean, they literally scored 70 on an NFL team. What do you expect? And Hard Knocks is really, really good. So yeah. And then you also have Lamar Jackson, who could be Offensive Player of the Year. Although if he wins MVP, my guess is he'll won't get MVP or offensive. I don't know. My guess would be one or the other. Lamar Jackson's really good. Come on, he literally caught a ball that he passed himself. Do you remember that Ayush when he caught a ball like that he threw?
Yeah.
That was epic.
Yeah.
And then we also see Lamb, your boy from the Cowboys. He's been really good. He's one, honestly, I think he's one of the more underlooked wide receivers because they all look at like Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, reasonably so. But CeeDee Lamb's also really good too. Yeah. I'd say he's a top 10 receiver. Heck, maybe even top 5. What's up?
He really had the most receptions this season.
Yeah. And then Christian McCaffrey's also on there. And then Dak Prescott's also on there.
Yeah. Yeah, Dak, especially McCaffrey, my top for all those.
Yeah. And then we'll get predictions in a bit. Yeah. But Defensive Player of the Year, it's down to DaRon Bland, who, man, he's gone off. Was he a backup? Ayush, wasn't DaRon Bland a backup?
Yeah, DaRon Bland's a backup.
No, bro, he is so good, bro. And then Max,
he got out because of starter because Trayvon Diggs got injured with an ACL tear.
Yeah, best thing ever happened to DaRon Bland. Yeah, hopefully Trayvon Diggs is okay, but best thing that happened to DaRon Bland considering he has that. Let's start. And then we have Max Crosby, who the Raiders weren't that good this year. Although Antonio Pierce has a lot of potential to be a good coach. But Max Crosby, he's probably their best player on that team. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's Miles Garrett, who it's Miles Garrett, bro. He's one of the best defensive ends in the league, maybe the best defensive end in the league. Yeah, and there's Micah Parsons, another Cowboys player on there. Both the Rob Bland and Micah Parsons are being considered. That's pretty epic. But that Cowboys team,
It's pretty cool.
yeah,
Mike Parsons had a good year this year.
yeah. And then TJ Watt, yeah, he got injured like the last second of the season after he ran over someone or he got ran over. But or by that I mean he tripped over someone. But TJ Watt, he's really good too. Yeah. And then offensive rookie of the year, there's some really, really good nominees for this. All right, Ayush, I'll see you later, okay?
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Sorry, Ayush has officially left the video. Okay, but there's that. But hopefully he'll come back, maybe. We'll see. But offensive rookie of the year, Jahmyr Gibbs is an option. I mean, he's been really good this year. That whole Detroit Lions team is, I keep on saying this, it's basically what the Jets want to be. The Jets have a young team with a middle-aged QB. Well, with Aaron Rodgers, he's actually a little older for QB now. And then they got, and then the Lions, they have a good team that's young with a, I wouldn't say middle age, but he's been there for a while, for a couple years now for Jared Goff. You also have Sam Laporta, who's also on the Lions. He's been really good this year. I mean, like when people were, that was like their first two draft picks, right? They picked her two of the, I don't know. Jahmyr Gibbs, though, has been really good considering people were like questioning at first. Like they already had David Montgomery and DeAndre Swift at the time. I believe they got rid of Jamal Williams at that time when he came to the Saints, but still. And then they got rid of DeAndre Swift like 2 days later. Put him on the Eagles. Yeah. But there's that. Jamaican Sam Laporta also on there. Puka Nacua, considering the fact he was a 5th-round pick or whatever. It is crazy to see Puka Nacua, one of the top 5 receivers in the league. He is really good, considering that Rams team has Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. That's really good. So Puka Nacua, that's a legit option. Bijan Robinson, yeah, a lot of people were questioning at first when they drafted him, especially Lefique. We have a whole video when that actually happened. Go check that out. It's on Narsa 7. But Bijan Robinson has been basically carrying the Falcons this year, considering they have been underwhelming, basically, because Arthur Smith isn't a very good coach, although he's great to the Saints because we get wins, at least one guaranteed win each year. But Bijan Robinson, he'll for sure give a run, I guess. Yeah. And then we also have CJ Stroud, literally took that Texans organization with DeMeco Ryans. DeMeco Ryans has done so much. We'll talk about Coach of the Year in a bit. But CJ Stroud has been so good this year. He has literally freaking took that 3 wins last year, 2 or 3 wins last year. It was 3 wins last year they got for the Texans and took that to a 10-17 to the playoffs and literally made it to the divisional round. What else do I gotta say? CJ Stroud, way better pick than Bryce Young. I might be a little biased because I'm an LSU fan and I dislike Alabama, but still, CJ Stroud's a better pick. Defensive Rookie of the Year. The nominees are Will Anderson. These aren't official nominees. I can't really confirm, but these are who's being considered, I guess. Yeah, Will Anderson, who's been really good. Literally, the Texans, at one point, they were like, CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, that's who we're probably going to get. Because some people were concerned that they wouldn't draft the QB or stick with like Davis Mills and all that. But they got both, bro. And that Texans organization literally got the jackpot there. Will Anderson, really good stuff from him this year. And we also have Jalen Carter, who on the Philadelphia Eagles, of course, almost had that interception where he almost intercepted the spiked ball when he like tried to dive for it. I remember Jalen Carter, man. He's had a rough way here, like outside of football, but he's been really good this year. He's shown that he's made for this still, and yeah. You also had Joey Porter Jr., the first pick of the second round. And I believe his father was on the Steelers, Joey Porter Sr. But Joey Porter Jr., not Joe Porter the YouTuber, but Joey Porter Jr., he's been really good. That Steelers organization, they always seem to get a winning record. They made it to the playoffs, so yeah, I haven't really seen much Joey Porter this year, but he's been really good. So yeah, and then Kobe Turner from the Rams, that I haven't seen much of him either, but he's been really good. I'm more offensive minded with whenever it comes to these players and defensive. Like I know more offensive than defensive. And Kobe Turner, that Rams organization was really good. So, and considering the fact that the Rams organization was literally down the dumpsters after with a really bad Super Bowl hangover. Kobe Turner, we'll see what he can do if he can win. And Devin Weatherspoon, I think he's from Illinois or something like that. I think it was in the first round or something like that, first or second. I know because I know they got JSN too, but Seahawks cornerback. Yeah, Seattle didn't make the playoffs. They still got one record. They had that one stretch in the season that basically killed their season. I would say because they didn't lose all those games, they would have been to the playoffs. But Devin Witherspoon, he's been really good this year. So yeah. And now we got comeback player of the year. These are always, in my opinion, like the more, how do I say this? The more intriguing ones because like you can speculate stuff. Yeah. So there are some good nominees on here. You have Joe Flacco, who was literally on his couch at one point, just watching the football games, and Cleveland called him up after all three of their QBs got injured. Then Joe Flacco literally been really good, took him to the playoffs. Yeah, he kind of struggled against the Texans, but Joe Flacco, what a comeback story that's been. Makes sense because it's comeback player of the year nominee. Yeah. They also DeMar Hamlin. We all know what happened to him at this point. He nearly died on the field. We were gonna have a whole video on that, but I never get finished editing it. I'll see if I'm gonna release it. But DeMar Hamlin, this man literally almost died on the field. Of course, he's gonna be on comeback player of the year. Yeah, he's only really made like a couple of plays on special teams, but DeMar Hamlin still, what a story that man's had. Then we have Baker Mayfield, who was literally scattering for teams at one point. Like he was with the Panthers last year, and then he didn't do so good. And then the Rams called him up after Matthew Stafford got injured. And then he actually did pretty good for them, considering that team was in the dumpster. And then he got time for the Buccaneers. It was between him and Kyle Trask for the starting spot. Baker Mayfield got it, and man, he took that team to the playoffs, and he's been good this year. So yeah, Baker Mayfield, he's been really good. Yeah, speaking of the Rams, Matthew Stafford is also the comeback player of the year. He was injured at one point. Some people saying his career was over. And now took him back to the playoffs after a bad year last year. So, yeah, and then we have Tua Tagovailoa, who's literally come back from 3 concussions. And this man has really started to come on alive this year with him and Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle, that is a star-studded team. They're so good, bro. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Tua Tagovailoa, got a lot of great players. Let's got Braxton Berrios. You also got Jalen Ramsey, really good stuff. And Mike McDaniel's one of my favorite coaches in the league. Yeah, but Tua Tagovailoa, him and Mike McDaniel doing amazing things. He could for sure have a legit shot at this. Now we got Coach of the Year. It's down to these. So we got Dan Campbell, who came on in 2021. They had a really bad year that year, but they were still rebuilding, I guess. Then 2022, they had a slow start, but they got going. They got a 9-8 record, not bad. And then they made the playoffs this year, won 2 games, and they made all the way to the NFC Championship. Would have won the NFC Championship if it weren't for blowing that game away. And Dan Campbell, I respect his aggression so much, but it could get to him sometimes. Like he should have gone for the field goal. But Dan Campbell, a really good coach. I forgot he was even on the Saints at one point till saw like tweets about it. I was like, "Did we have Dan Campbell at one point?" Yeah. You also had John Harbaugh for the Baltimore Ravens after he won a Super Bowl 11 years ago. He's just been consistent with the Ravens. I don't remember the Ravens being bad. I mean, I'm sure they were at one point, but because I've been watching really since 2015, I don't remember the Ravens being bad though. Well, no, they might have been had a down year last time. But John Harbaugh, really good. They literally freaking took him to the AFC Championship, hosted the game. Yeah, they got outplayed by the Chiefs, but still really good season. Just got DeMeco Ryans from Texans. This man literally took that organization that was down in dumpsters and took over the franchise, being like their fourth coach they've had in a couple years because just in the 2020s they fired Bill O'Brien. Then they also fired what's his name, David Coley, and then they fired Lovie Smith after his first year. I think Coley was after his first year too, and then Lovie Smith after his first year, who has the greatest beard I've ever seen. Now there's DeMeco Ryans, who has really saved this organization. Knock on wood, but looks like the Texans are going to be needing to find a new coach anytime soon. So yeah, but literally this man started off with an amazing impression by literally freaking in the draft, because like I said earlier, they were either going to get Stroud or went Anderson. That's what the fans said because they're worried they weren't going to get a QB. And then this man literally, he didn't just get CJ Stroud or just Will Anderson. He got them both, which is crazy, man. And that team was, yeah, they had some things going on in here, but it was a team from 3 wins to making the playoffs in a 10-win season, and they win in the playoffs. They make it to the divisional. Come on, bro. And it makes all the sense that's a former Texans player and rookie of the year for them, which we'll get the rookie. Well, we already got the rookie of the year. Yeah, or the rookies of the year. Doug Ryan's just Kyle Shanahan. Come on, Kyle Shanahan is one of the best coaches in the league. He's done so good at the 49ers. 2020 was his only year that they didn't do so good, at least in recent memory. That's because half their team was on IR that season. Can't really control that. But Kyle Shanahan, man, that team and him, they have shot for the stars. They are so good, bro. Yeah, Brock literally took Brock Purdy as a final draft pick and made him into an elite QB. And then you also have Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, what's his name, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and you also got like Juwan Jennings too. That's a star-studded offense. Defense too, like Drake Greenlaw, Chase Young, where he literally traded for earlier in the season. Just amazing stuff. You also had Kevin Stefanski. Similar situation to what the 49ers was in last season. They had a lot of their QBs get injured, but they fought through it and they made the playoffs. Yeah. Now, obviously, it wasn't as successful as the 49ers, but still, it was still worth mentioning. Kevin Stefanski literally went, and people and the others really talk about him getting coach of the year again, but I think after he lost to the Texans, who knows? But this man literally had 4 different QBs to deal with. He had Deshaun Watson, then PJ Jones, I think, and then Dorian Thompson-Robinson, or aka DTR, as I call him, just so I don't have to say all those words. They had Joe Flacco, who they called from his couch. Like called when Joe Flacco had no team to play for, and Joe Flacco did really good. So crazy stuff. But yeah, that's another nominee. Now we get assistant coach of the year, Ben Johnson. This man has literally made that Lions offense so good. Jahmyr Gibbs. He's taken Jared Goff and made it really good. And he was already good to begin with. He literally went to a Super Bowl. Like 2019. Yeah, it was off like the worst call in the NFL. It shouldn't have happened, but still, it's worth mentioning, I guess. But man, that he's literally taken those rookies and made them so good. Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, all those people. Oh, Brian Branch on the defense, I guess. Well, he's not defense player, but still. But Ben Johnson, man, really good. He's returning back to that team next year, so yeah. Now I got Mike McDonald. who is the Baltimore Ravens defense coordinator. He's done really good. That Ravens defense was really good this year. I think he went to the. I want to say he went to the. I think he went to the Seahawks, if I'm not mistaken. But Mike McDonald, bro. That there's a reason why that Baltimore Ravens team was so good. In fact, they're so good. Todd Monken, the Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator, is also being considered for this. Man, this dude's been really good too. And just that with Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers as a rookie, Eddie Rose is rookie until like a couple weeks ago, which Zay Flowers got into some trouble, but we won't talk about that. We'll save that for another day. But Tom Monken's been really good. He's developed he's had like Lamar Jackson. He's also had like his receivers like Nelson Aguilar, I think. Yeah. Nelson Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, like I said. Really good stuff. And Justice Hill and who's their other running back? I forgot. It got Dalvin Cook, that's not what I'm thinking of. Who is the Ravens running back?
These are the listed
No,
running
J.K.
backs.
Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Yeah. Really good stuff there for Tom Monken. He also got Jim Schwartz, Cleveland Browns defensive coordinator. Browns are just so good. Part of the reason why the Browns did so good, even with all the QBs they had. Really good stuff there going. Jim Schwartz has been really good at that organization. He was the replacement for Joe Woods. And when Joe Woods went to the Saints, which he hasn't been bad with them, I guess. He's been decent, I guess. Pretty good. We've really held a lot of teams like no touchdowns in a couple games. Yeah. But Jim Schwartz, really good stuff going there. Cleveland Browns is so good. They kind of tanked them against the Texans, but still really good stuff. Yeah. Next, you have Bobby Slowick, which is the Houston Texans offensive coordinator. And that offense has done really good this year. CJ Stroud. Who else? Frick. Like Noah Brown. Their receivers, I completely forgot their names for some reason. Robert Woods, I think, is on that team. Or no, I think so. Other than but CJ Stroud. Yeah, there's Noah Brown. And there's also Tank Dell. I know he got injured, but still. That team's just been so good this year. Just amazing stuff going. I swear I can't think of the Texans receivers. Houston Texans wide receivers.
These are the
Alex Bachman, Noah Brown, Nico Collins. That's who I was thinking of. Man, he's been really good this year. He's got John Mechie and all that as well. Really good stuff. So Bobby Slowick. I saw a photo of the 2013 or 14 commander staff with it was crazy with the people on there and where they ended up because some of those people, like Bobby Slowick and the 2013 Washington Redskins, because it's the Redskins at the time. Don't come after me. I'm just saying what that was at the time. It had, I might just saw my phone. They had Bobby Slowick as their defensive assistant, which is odd because now he's an offensive coordinator. And you also have Matt LaFleur, who was the Washington QB coach. Now he's the Packers head coach. Obviously, Slowick's the offensive coordinator now. You also got Sean McVay, who was the tight ends coach for them, and then for the Redskins, and now he's the Rams head coach. They also had Kyle Shanahan, who's the Washington offensive coordinator. Now he's the 49ers head coach. Really took it to the Super Bowl. Again, and we'll see how they do. We'll have Super Bowl predictions out later this week. And also Sean McVay is also Super Bowl coach. Super Bowl winning is a Super Bowl coach. Actually, he's a Super Bowl winning coach. Kyle Shanahan, I don't think he's won Super Bowl yet, but yeah. And then there's Mike McDaniel, who is the wide receiver coach. Now he's a Dolphins head coach. Really good stuff there. Literally, all those teams that they work for now made the playoffs because of the Texans, Packers, Rams, 49ers, and the Dolphins. Just crazy stuff. Just amazing how people come from there. But yeah, Bobby Slowick, really good stuff. And now we're not going to predict some I guess I'll predict it. If we missed something, I'm sorry. What the frick is this ad? Sorry. But here's that Walter Payton Man of the Year. I'm not gonna read all this, but you can go see it for yourself, I guess, because it'll take a while to read off. Fine, I'll read it all. Got Jonathan Ledbetter, Bradley Penny, Wilkin Smith, Deion Dawkins, Bradley Bozeman, Justin Jones, Ted Karras, Anthony Walker, DeMarcus Lawrence, Garrett Bowles, Frank Ragnell, Devondre Campbell, John Weeks, Zaire Franklin, DeWan Smoot, Patrick Mahomes, Max Crosby, Derwin James, Cooper Kupp, Alec Ingold, Harrison Phillips, Jonathan Jones, Tyra Matthews, Saquon Barkley, Solomon Thomas, Lane Johnson, Cameron Hayward, Eric Armstead, Bobby Wagner, Anton Winfield Jr., Jeffrey Simmons, and Terry McLaurin. The fans of the year, I'm not going to read that off though. But here's that. So now it's time for the predictions. Yes, the one we've all been waiting for. We're gonna be predicting. We're predicting MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, Comeback Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, Assistant Coach of the Year, and then Walter Payton Man of the Year, and the NFL Fan of the Year. So yeah, there's that. But let's do this. So starting off with the MVP, the most valuable player in the whole NFL football league. There's so many good options. But it comes down to really who's been so good. Last year, it was Patrick Mahomes. Of course, he went on to win the Super Bowl. And now, here we are with this for this year. My prediction for MVP this year is Lamar Jackson. I think it's going to be between him and Prescott. Lamar Jackson's just been so good this year. I mean, this man literally, I said earlier, he literally caught a pass to himself. Crazy stuff, man. But Lamar Jackson, he's just been so good this year. I'm just going to stick with him for most valuable player of the year. I could see Prescott getting it, but I think Lamar has just been a bit better this season. I mean, this man's a dual threat QB. He can run, he can pass. Yeah. Offensive Player of the Year, last year it was Justin Jefferson, my boy from LSU. My prediction for Offensive Player of the Year is Christian McCaffrey. He might be the best player in the whole football league. This man's been so good. I don't think he's going to get MVP. I think that'll go to like a QB, which I said Lamar Jackson. But Christian McCaffrey's just been so good with the organization. I mean, look, he's there in the Super Bowl. Best running back in the league is Christian McCaffrey. He's been so good this year. Just amazing stuff. And then we get the Defensive Player of the Year. This one's an interesting one. I'm gonna go screw it. I'm gonna go with DeRon Bland. This man has been so good. This one might be a long shot, but DeRon Bland's just been really good. And this man literally was a backup. So I guess you could consider him for comeback player of the year too, but this man's been so good this year. He's making a lot of heads turn, man. He's just been so good. I'm gonna give him a Defensive Player of the Year. Last year, Nick Bosa won that award. So yeah. Now we got Offensive Rookie of the Year. Garrett Wilson won it last year. My guess for Offensive Player of the Year, I think it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna go with CJ Stroud for the Texans. I think Puka Nacua can give him a really good run for it. And I guess the Detroit players too. Bijan, just his team isn't so good. But CJ Stroud has been so good. That man was literally supposed to go to the Panthers or to a different team. Like at first, it was going to be like, who was it going to be at first? It was like going to be the freaking Colts or something before the Panthers traded up. And Panthers traded, and then they were going to get CJ Stroud originally. Now they got Bryce Young, and Texans were complaining if they didn't get Bryce Young. But CJ Stroud turned out to be really good. CJ Stroud's going to be the offensive rookie here. He's been so good. So, yeah, and if they're a QB getting it, that means they're really good. Yeah. Defensive player. Now, I'm not saying that like other positions aren't so. I'm just saying like QB is like it's like the base of the team, I guess. That's really good. Yeah. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Last year it was Sauce Gardner. Yes, both Jets players won it. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. but it's gonna be close. I'm gonna give this one to Jalen Carter. I think Will Anderson will give him a really good shot for it, but Jalen Carter's been so good. He's been really good with that team. Honestly, I think the Eagles got a great steal out of him. He's just been really good. And I think Jalen Carter is going to win Defensive Player of the Rookie of the Year. Yeah, I said Sauce Gardner was the Defensive Rookie of the Year last year. Comeback Player of the Year. Excuse me. The winner from last year was Geno Smith. But this one's going to be an interesting one. I don't know if all of you are going to agree with me on this one. I'm going to go with Arthur Smith. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to go with Baker Mayfield. I know a lot of you are going to say Joe Flacco. But the thing with Baker Mayfield that gets me over Joe Flacco, one, Joe Flacco had that one bad game. Yeah, it was one, but still. Two, Joe Flacco, yes, he came off his couch basically to play. But Baker Mayfield's played a lot more this year, so I think more of his stats are going to get to him. Plus, he won the playoff game. I think he has more to his resume than Joe Flacco, but at least for this year. But Baker Mayfield, man, so good. I think he's going to win Comeback Player of the Year. And then Coach of the Year, last year, it was Brian Dable from the Giants, and the Giants weren't so good this year, but I don't know if I wouldn't put all the blame on him, obviously. Had injuries and all that. Excuse me. My guess for Coach of the Year, this one's an interesting one. I'm gonna go with DeMeco Ryans. DeMeco Ryans, the thing with him, with all these coaches are amazing. Dan Campbell, that team was 9-8 last year, so they were still decent last year. John Harbaugh, Ravens have been good for the last couple of years. Shanahan with the 49ers, that team has been really good for a while now. And the Browns, they were 6-11, 7-10 or something like that last year. And they weren't like, and they didn't have like many bad seasons before that. Well, they obviously had the 2010s, and then they started to get really good in the 2020s. But that's one. But yeah. But the thing with DeMeco Ryans, he turned that organization from a 3-win team to a playoff not just playoff contend, playoff team. He made it to the playoffs, won a game, had a home game literally, and made it to the divisional. He's been so good this year. Just DeMeco Ryans, amazing stuff. It's similar to what Ryan Dable did last year. Took that garbage Giants organization, made them good. And then they weren't so good this year, but still. DeMeco Ryans, though, that's my pick for it. Yeah. And I'll get Assistant Coach of the Year, previous winner, DeMeco Ryans. So he could go from Assistant Coach of the Year to Coach of the Year in the span of 1 year. I pick so. My guess is it's going to be Ben Johnson. I think Bobby Slovic could give him a good shot, but Ben Johnson's just so good, bro. That organization has just been really, really good. And just amazing stuff from Ben Johnson, that he took all those rookies and made them into sub-elite players or even elite players. Just really good stuff. I'm going to say Ben Johnson's going to win. Got Walter Payton, man. We got Walter Payton at NFL Man of the Year. I don't know much about this one, but I'm just going to give my best guess. So Dak Prescott won last year. My guess is I watch Hard Knocks a lot, so I'm going to go with Alec Ingold. He's just a really good person. I watch Hard Knocks. I get a little biased there. Yeah. But such an amazing person, does amazing things for the community. So yeah, there's that. And back on the Comeback Player of the Year thing, yes, Damar Hamlin will have a shot, but he hasn't done much this year, obviously with his stats, but I still think he'll have a shot. Just that mean almost died. I think if he had a really good year, he would have gotten Comeback Player of the Year. But yeah, anyways, but I think Alec Ingold will win it. He's just a really good person. So yeah, he's done really good things, especially when I watch Hard Knocks. And now, Fan of the Year, might be biased on this one because I watched this guy a lot. I'm gonna go Tom Grossi. Plus, he's really popular and he's a really passionate Packers fan. So yeah, so I'm gonna run down all my predictions again. MVP, I think it's gonna go Lamar Jackson. Offensive Player of the Year, I think it's gonna be Christian McCaffrey. Defensive Player of the Year, I think it's gonna be DeRon Bland. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I think it's gonna be CJ Stroud. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I think it's gonna be Jalen Carter. Comeback Player of the Year, I think it's gonna be Baker Mayfield. Coach of the Year, I think it'll be DeMeco Ryans. Assistant Coach of the Year, I think it'll be Ben Johnson. Comeback Player of the Year, I got Alec Ingold, and then Fan of the Year, I got Tom Grassi. So, yeah. Anyways, y'all, that is gonna do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed. What are y'all's predictions for the event tonight? So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Have a nice day and goodbye. See you on the next one. Peace.